Hello, Cancer. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Cancer is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. If there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. All right. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Cancer, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And a Seven of Swords starts us off today, and I feel like this is a bit of a communication blockage. Okay, now it could be too much communication or it could be too little. We need to put this into some context. I feel like you are committed to a certain path forward, but there is either some conflicting energy, there are some naysayers, or there's some doubts coming in, or there's just an inability for you to express this path that you're on and really kind of communicate not only with other people, but with yourself too. You know, to really get a clear plan forward here. Yeah. Let's see what's going on with this. Let's put a few more cards around it, shall we? We've got an Eight of Swords. So there is kind of there's a need for us to get out of the intellectual element here. A need for us to get out of the air. It could be really a lot of planning, a lot of replanning, a lot of revisions. Okay. That's what we need. We need inspiration. You have the idea, you have the impulse, you have the urge to do this, but we get locked up in the planning stages of it. Again, with the vision, you've got this Knight of Pentacles looking forward. You can see what you want, but then we're, again, stopped by all of this air energy. God, this is really getting good. You've got the will, the authority, the power. You've got all the means at your disposal. You have the resources. You have the vision, you have the will, but the planning is what's in the way here. And this is a little bit more balanced, right? This is the adjustment card or the justice card. It's about a balanced intellect. It's about really getting a clear and balanced picture of things, sorting out all of this intellectual energy in a way that is very, very harmonious, right? We're not completely getting away from the air. We're not throwing out all the swords. No, we're just trying to balance them. And maybe it's part of this is a realization that the mind is always going to have a lot more details, a lot more planning, a lot more revisions to do. The mind is kind of like the word machine, right? It just keeps churning out more and more data, right? The more we use it, the more it kind of generates. So there is a time where we have to just kind of come to this agreement with ourselves that, okay, this is as perfect a plan as I'm going to get. It's time to execute. It's time to move forward. We don't get wrapped up in this air, intellectual, reasoning, figuring, planning energy. There comes a time where we say, enough's enough. We got to just move, right? We've got to act. So let's see a few more cards here. Now we've got a 10 of Swords. But I think the 10 of Swords here is actually a very good card. We're getting out of this prison. The Eight of Swords is kind of like the prison bars, right? It's kind of like keeping us, it's a self-sabotage really with the Eight of Swords, but we're here in this kind of mental, intellectual prison. And this is us breaking out. Yeah, so this is a very good, we're getting out of the cage here. That's a very good card. And now our ambition, our resources, our vision, our will, right, is able to be let loose upon the mountain and climb to the very top. This is really, really excellent. What we want, of course, to avoid, of course, is the return to that cage. So we have a Three of Swords here, and finally, oh my gosh. Yeah, this is really stunning. We start with the Knight of Pentacles looking at the future, envisioning the future self. This is the card that says, what am I going to be out there in the distance? Who am I going to be? Where am I going to be? Right? What am I going to be doing? I can see it all now. We have that vision, right? It's like Doc Brown with the flux capacitor. I saw a vision, a picture in my head. And this is it, right? This is us having that Doc Brown moment. And then we go to the very end of the reading, and we have the Queen of Pentacles. See the counterpart. This is looking toward the future. This is now our future self looking at the past and thinking, I did it. It worked. So there's this weird kind of Back to the Future time travel element here, right? Where we're going from the kind of the past having the vision of the future to now the future having the vision of the past. It's really weird, right? But I think that this is indicating the successful manifestation of this, whatever this will, this idea, this inspiration, this impulse is that you have. It could be a creative thing, a business thing, work, it could be family, friends. Whatever this good idea is that you have right now, you're going to succeed in manifesting it. And this is going to be you in the future, really sitting pretty and appreciating all of the energy, everything that we went through to get there. Now, if we look at the reading, well, what we should do first is select the mystery card. Let's do that now. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. And we're just going to set it down over here. We're going to put our very own Kelly Kapoor right there on top. Now, I'm sure most of you know who Kelly is and where she's from. If you don't, maybe look through the comments and ask, and we'll see if everybody can figure that out. I thought it was pretty obvious, but last time we used her for the mystery card, I don't think anybody really got the joke, but that's our very own Kelly Kapoor. The mystery card is going to tie everything together at the end of the reading. If at any point you feel like you know what it is, put your prediction, put your answer down below in the comments, right? Also, if you know where Kelly Kapoor is from, you get a cookie, all right? But let's work on our intuition. Let's exercise that power, by seeing if we can discern that mystery card together. All right. Now let's look at these major arcana energies. 1, 2, 3. The Emperor really gets the most results by a balanced approach, by a almost a very professional way of looking at things, right? Doesn't want to get swayed by the emotional energy, doesn't want to get wrapped up in all the debates. We have all the advisors coming in and talking to us and telling us their opinion, giving us all this data over and over and over again. There's so many options, the Emperor can be overwhelmed and just think, I don't know what to do, there are too many choices, can't you decide for me? By balancing that out, by really weighing all of the options, weighing all of the pros and cons, and this is one of those times where I say, let's do the pros and cons list. Let's map everything out and let's figure out a plan that seems the most reasonable. It will never be perfect. It will never be perfect. The scales are calibrated a certain way, but there's still a degree of tolerance. There's still a margin of error in everything, right? And that's what I think we've got to learn as Cancers. I'm a solar Cancer. We've got to realize that we can only plan and edit and revise and tweak things and try to perfect things just so much until we have to say it's perfect by our relative standards right now in this moment. That's as good as it'll get, right? And we have to go forward with what we decide is the best process, right? The Emperor can't just say, okay, well, someone else decide. I don't know what to do. We weigh all of the evidence, we weigh all of the data, and you decide. And doing that is going to allow you then to unleash this goat. And this is that greatest of all time energy, right? Shout out to Dave Chappelle. I did hear that he's a fan of the show, that he watches his readings here. I don't know if that's true. I heard it from a friend. We're unleashing that goat by this process. This is how we get to be, relatively speaking, the greatest of all time, right? In our lives, we're able to climb that mountain and reach the success that we want in this particular project, this idea, this impulse, this inspiration, whatever this good idea is. Yeah. And so we have those major arcana. Then what do we have? Well, we've got our fire underneath everything. There is a fire underneath you, right? That's kind of, that's stirring you up, that's getting you going. That really is, think about a fire under your chair. You're going to want to jump out of your seat. There's this kind of energy and excitement about something for you. We don't see any water energy, so I don't feel like it's a romantic thing. I don't feel like it's anything like with family. I feel like it's a creative project. I feel like it's something that maybe right now it's just for yourself. I don't know that you're really telling everybody about it yet. This could just be really something internal, almost a spiritual impulse. Maybe it's you wanting to get back on the spiritual path, right? Maybe it's you wanting to get back to a certain type of creativity that you were engaged with, or you have this impulse, this fire in you, this passion to start something, or to resume something. It could be something that you already started long ago. Now we really want to get back to it. Now maybe it feels like it's the right time, the right place, the right circumstances. Let's figure it out. But then we get stuck in that air energy. And we do have a lot of air energy. Even the major arcana here is air. A lot of air energy here. And this is keeping us kind of in the figuring, planning, debating, calculating phase of things, rather than just do it. It's kind of like you have this objective. You want to do something. And so you organize it, you write the outline, the plan, you schedule the itinerary, you make the calendars, you make the charts, you make all the graphs and all of the minute by minute, planning. And before you know it, your whole day has been spent creating this infrastructure, but not actually using it, not actually doing anything with it, right? So it's a lot of planning, and I think cancers are so I've run into a few cancers that kind of tend to do this. Building that infrastructure for something very meticulously. You got your ruler out and your pencil, you're drawing perfect lines everywhere. And then it's like the time has gone by and we haven't used the thing yet. And maybe because it's not perfect, it's like you're trying to, you ever do that bullet journaling thing? I got into that for a little short period of time once back in the day. And you have to organize everything and draw your lines and draw and write your labels and make your spreads and do all these charts and graphs and stuff. And I'd be so exhausted by the end of the day that I wouldn't write anything down. And then I'd make a little mistake. And I think, I've got to throw that away and start all over again. Well, there's another week of drawing these lines and all these little graphics and things. And it became so tedious, but then I would realize that I'm not actually journaling. I'm not actually brain dumping. I'm not getting anything out of me, So we get stuck in that. And at that point, we're in an 8 of Swords for sure, right? And it's a cycle that repeats. And then it's like, well, we made a mistake. We've got to start again. And then we keep doing this, the design or planning or the infrastructure phase. We're not actually getting anything accomplished, right? And so that's where we are. We got to break that cycle. We got to break that habit with the 10 of Swords here. Again, no water energy, and then we've got our Earth. We're bookended by the Earth energy. This is a project that you will start and you will finish, and that's just it. We would love to just go between these two. We would love to just have these two, the Knight and the Queen, fire and water, the two counterparts, right? Complementary energies, the past to the future to the past, whatever. We would love for these two to just get together. We have the vision of something, the impulse, we do it, we're completed, we say, yeah, we did it. It's like that, easy, right? It's not easy for Cancer going through all this air energy. Okay, this is the ideal, but that's not what we have. We're taking this, and then we're saying, okay, the two of you, a little bit of distance there. Okay, 3 feet apart, please. Arms distance away from each other. Hands to ourselves. And we're putting all this energy in between, because this is real life. This would be ideal, of course. This is what we would hope for and wish for, right? But it's not what we get in reality. Oops, sorry, Bob. He wants to participate too, Bob. Okay, so this is where we're at. Looking at the Knight of Pentacles. Anyway, like I said, this is you seeing the vision of the kind of completed effort. You know what you want to be, where you want to be, what you want to be doing. Whatever, a month, a year, 5 years from now. I don't know what the timeline is, right? Depends on what you're doing. Really, some things take longer than others. But at the end of this, you can see what you want to be doing, and it feels really good, right? And we want that. We understand that we then have to backtrack. We can't just teleport ourselves over to the Queen of Pentacles. We have to start at the beginning. We have to start taking those baby steps, reaching those milestones, doing the incremental progress. It's not just one giant leap over all of this stuff right into the Queen of Pentacles' lap, but it's all of the quest between here and there. We have to earn it. We have to work for it. We have to go through all the air energy really right now in order to get there. Okay? And so we understand that all of our thoughts, words, and deeds right now in this present moment are creating who we will be in the future. So let's be really mindful of that. Okay? Let's be really mindful of that. If we get stuck in the Seven of Swords habit, we're reinforcing that. We're continuing to create that version of ourselves, even in our future self. Down the road, we're still going to be even more of this. So we have to be mindful of that right now in the present, and let's try to get out of this a little bit. This is the understanding that we can't make everything perfectly flawless. There's no such thing as a perfect plan, you know. We may feel that in moments, oh, perfect plan. But once we, maybe when you have that brief feeling that, oh, this is perfect, then just go for it. But the longer we linger, we start to think, that's not really perfect. I see a flaw there. I see a line that's crooked. Oh man, I got to start over. You know, let's look for that moment where we can just step back and be like, it's perfect. And then initiate the plan, then put that plan into action. Rather than, of course, you know, getting off the balance. See, we've got 7, 8, we've got the 3, we've got the 10. We don't have a 6. Right? Well, that's what we need, really, is the 6 of Swords, that perfect plan, that perception of everything is harmonious in this moment. That's the moment that you have to run forward and start taking action. And don't keep looking at it, because you will find the flaws. There's flaws in everything. Right? And that's what makes things unique and special and beautiful. But in this case, I feel like it's going to cause us to go back to the drawing board and start replanning, revising, and editing something all over again. And of course, it's that which gives us even further, even deeper into this 8 of Swords. And this is really too much static. This is analysis paralysis, really, is the phrase that's going around these days that all the kids are using. And once we're in this, it's kind of hard to get out of this. You know, we're in this cycle. We feel like we are blindfolded and bound, you know. But the solution is there, and really the solution is to just to act, to do, to take whatever blueprint you have, whatever plan you've got right now, and just start doing it. We've got this fire energy. And of course, the Emperor needs the magic wand, needs the scepter of power, let's say. We've got to unite the Emperor with this scepter of power, but we've got to get through this. Okay? And the Emperor, obviously, is that authority, that control, that discipline, where we can hear all the differing opinions. I can see all sides of something, and I'll still make my own decision based on the accumulation of all of this energy, the sum total of all these differing opinions and all these different ideas and thoughts that I have, all wrapped up into one. What do I decide? Well, we have to act. We have to make that decision, and we have to act. I kind of like this, the Justice card here, because it does, in some ways, kind of indicate that we are uniting both halves of something, that we are bringing something into balance. The Emperor, without the scepter of power, has no power, right? Is weakened, is in more of a defensive position. So we're restoring something here. We're making that adjustment. We're realizing, one, that too much adjusting is what's keeping us here. So we have to just allow things to level out and be as balanced as they are. It's never going to be perfectly flawless, right? Depends on the calibration of the machine, and depends on the level of tolerance and all this kind of stuff, right? The margin of error. But we're trying to unite the the Emperor with that magic wand and have this kind of balanced action. And it really is through this, it's kind of really a card that just says, stop thinking. Get out of that cage. Now we're going to go to the path of the serpent here. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. It's totally free, okay? The Ten of Swords, we're getting out of this cage. And the Emperor realizes that we've been discussing this, maybe with other people, but mostly inside, up here really. We've been discussing this too much. And we're just caged in. And we realize that we're never going to get to that Queen of Pentacles if we don't start moving, if we don't start taking steps forward, right? And this is now, the first step is perceiving that there is this cage in front of us, to perceive that we have been overdoing this mental energy to our own detriment, to our own delay. Right? We're not really harming ourselves, really, but we're not getting anywhere any faster. In fact, we're slowing things down to a grinding halt at some point. Okay? So the first step is really recognizing that our goat is in a cage. This goat needs to be free. This is your creative energy. This is really the will, the creative force that's within you. Still, again, fueled by this spiritual fire here, this Ace of Wands. And we need to let this goat out. Now, this is the position of your environment. So it really is something that you need to kind of put your pencil and paper and your protractor and your rulers down. Go outside and do this thing, whatever it might be. You've discussed it with yourself enough that you kind of know how to do it. Now it's just a matter of putting in that energy, And I think that this is the hard part because, look, we're tempted again by the swords. We're tempted to kind of go back to where we were. So this could be you out in the world starting to build this thing or do this thing and then having these thoughts that, well, maybe this is a waste of time right now. Maybe I should be working on this other thing first. Maybe this comes after that. And then we start thinking, gosh, am I doing the wrong thing? Am I wasting my time right now doing all this work when I should be doing work over there first? Let me think about it. In this case, let's not think about it. You're doing work, keep doing the work. The work is what matters. The work, commit yourself to a certain time frame. Say, I'm going to focus on this for an hour today, or half an hour, or 5 minutes. Or the whole week, whatever it is. Again, depends on what you're doing. And that's also part of this adjustment energy. This is our ability to regulate our. It's kind of a time management card, right? It's a karma card, right? And karma is all about time and results of actions over time, consequences. So we say, okay, I'm going to work on this project for 5 minutes today, and then when it comes time to go home and kind of debrief. I'll figure out what the results of that action were. And then tomorrow we can decide the same thing, or maybe we do need to change course. But the idea is to go out and act. We have to go out into the world and start doing this thing. I don't know what it is. Maybe you're trying to build a business. Maybe you're trying to produce, your work of art, your masterpiece, your great work. Well, you've got to go out and just throw the paint around a little bit. See what comes of it. But trying to plan everything out perfectly ahead of time is limiting you in a really, really serious way. Okay? Sometimes we just have to let the goat out of the cage and let it do its thing. See what it comes up with. There's also this idea here of structure and rules and discipline and order and planning, and then over here with the goat, just kind of free creativity, free play, right? Spontaneous, improvisational, rather than very planned out and very structured, very orderly and disciplined. But there's a balance between the two. If we think of these three major arcana cards, we got the improvisation, spontaneity, we've got the structure, order, discipline, the authority. Right? The ruler that rules with rules. And then we've got the balance between the two. And I think that's very important for you. You have to know the rules, you have to establish them and understand what they mean, but then you really have to go and practice and perform and build and do and act. Up here with the Three of Swords, this is a very important card. It's in the position of the obstacle, because we do have to go through this intellectual energy to get to our success, to get to our results. But this is the danger, because this card, we jump here, it's kind of like a board game, right? We land here, we could be transported right back to prison, right? Go to jail, do not collect $200. But we do have to go through this. We have to pass this by, right? And then we do get to collect $200 or whatever. But we don't want to land directly on this card and get right back here. And what that means is that we have to use our intellect. We have to plan. We have to debrief and assess the day's work. At the end of the day, what did I do today? Yeah, I feel like that's a good amount of progress. I feel like tomorrow we're going to continue the same thing. Or at the end of the week or the end of the month, right? I've built this, I've practiced this particular technique or whatever for a long time. I feel like it's very useful. I feel there's some improvement. Maybe you have a chart where you can measure your progress, and that's good. But be careful that we don't land on this card and get teleported right back to that 7 and 8 of Swords, right? So it's a catch-22. We need this, but not too much of it. Yeah. And again, the right measure, the right balance, we're getting to pass go, we're getting our $200, we're sitting pretty with the Queen of Pentacles. Beautiful. And then you can look back at where you began and you can just say, wow, I did waste a lot of time doing all this air stuff over here where I could have been climbing the mountain. I would have got here faster, but that's also a trap of the Three of Swords. Don't have these kind of regrets. You know, any of us can look back 10 years ago and say, man, I was really just like wasting my time, wasting my effort. Nothing is really a waste of time or a waste of effort. Okay? It's important that you're going through this experience now in order to learn these lessons. Spirit is putting you through this for a reason. Okay? And it's time for us to continue through this and not linger here and really be, imprisoned in all of this thought and planning and stuff like that. Let's look at the mystery card. What does Kelly have for us today? I want to see the water energy. I want to see that at the end of this thing, once we get kind of through this phase, and maybe this is one day, maybe this is a day in the life of Cancer, maybe this is a month, maybe this is a year, maybe 10 years, whatever. I want to see some water energy or an Empress or a Chariot. All right. If you have a prediction, oh, there's the cat. If you have a prediction, put it down in the comments. Oh, an Ace of Swords. Okay, we'll take this. I'm happy with this. Because this is at least the clarity. This is us silencing our mind. This is really the key. The water energy, yeah, that'll come. The satisfaction, sure. You know what? I'll let you in on a secret. The Queen of Pentacles has the water energy within them. There is this feeling of satisfaction. The queens of all the cards, the queens are the water aspect of the element of the earth. So this is water of earth. All the court cards are combinations of the elements, okay? And this is water and earth. So there is satisfaction here. That's the secret. The key is this Ace of Swords to just silence all of this overthinking. Yeah. Just feel it. Just let it be. Just do. Don't think about it. Just do it. Yeah. So this is clarity. Now, this isn't always, this isn't like, this isn't having all the answers. This is not needing to have all the answers, right? This is not always asking the questions. This is saying, I don't know the answers. I don't know how to get out of this. I don't know what all this is. I can't figure everything out. I don't have all the plans and the answers and all of the things figured out. And that's okay. I don't need to. Okay? I don't need to. So this is that kind of inner silence, that inner accepting, accepting that I don't know everything. I don't need to know everything. We'll figure it out as we go. But see, we still have the mind. We still have the sword because we still have to be discerning. We still have to think and be smart. We still have to communicate, We still have to judge and weigh the options. See, we need the sword, but we don't want the sword to really be then like the steel bars that are around us. We want one sword, nice, strong sword that we can wield. We don't want the swords to become this prison. Yeah. So this, I think, is the perfect key. The secret is the water energy is in that Queen of Pentacles. Okay. We're going to do an extended reading as well. If you want to stick around, there's a link in the corner. There's one down below, above, and below. New readings for Cancer every Tuesday and Friday. Yeah. I'm here every day. You can come back and see me again tomorrow. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment for me. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. Also, check out my wife's channel. She does tea leaf readings. Her channel name is Ula Tea Leaf Readings. U-L-A. Tea leaf readings. Marvelous work. It would be a very great compliment to this work to go watch hers and see how things might line up for you. All right. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.